Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling, up-and-coming talent, unbelievable. Got a story to tell you with including Mick Foley, which is awesome. Janai Kai. Janai, to tell us first about Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling, who you are for
ARW.
Thank
yes.
you. I always get it, that ARW and all. So tell us for this, and we're in, by the way, we're in South Florida.
Yes, at Gangrel's Wrestling Asylum.
And it's their debut in South Florida for Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling. So here we go. Tell us about what you're doing tonight.
Oh, well, tonight I am in my ninja gear right now. Usually I do my black belt one, but I have another
persona?
Yeah, persona that I do. It's a ninja, and I usually wear a mask, and I come out with a bow staff. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm actually part of a group at Atomic called Brothers in Arms. So I'm coming out for Jason Dugan's match, and I'm gonna try and help him out a little bit. Who knows what I'm gonna do? But yeah, that's what I'm doing tonight.
Let's see with the mask.
Yes. Right here.
And see right there, you don't want to mess with her. I don't want to mess with her anyway. You know her background, it's incredible. Tell us about your background.
Oh, my background, yes. So I have martial arts background, mainly in taekwondo. I have a black belt in taekwondo. I've been doing it since I was 6 years old. But then when I got my black belt, I transitioned into kickboxing and muay thai. So I've been training in that as well. So that's mainly like my martial arts.
And you've been doing this since so it's been a long time that you've been doing this and all.
Long time.
How did it go from you transitioning to that, and what made you decide, hey, I want to try pro wrestling?
Well, I've been watching since I was a little girl with my dad and going to all the shows, and like it's always been in my head that I wanted to try it. Particularly when I was 13 years old, I was like, all right, I want to do this one day, and I actually went to a wrestling school to check it out when I was 13. And so the guy said, like, I forgot how much money it was, but my mom was like, oh, we can't do it right now, whatever. So then recently, like a year ago, I was like, this has been bothering me forever, I need to try it out. So I moved down to Orlando from D.C. to do wrestling.
When you were in D.C., where did you go see the matches?
Oh, well, yeah, at the Verizon Center is where they had the shows, but yeah, I started watching with my dad. Like I went with him when I was like 6 years old to the shows, and this is like WWF like Attitude Era time. So like I thought it was just too awesome. So yep.
Who are some of your favorites?
Well, I was a big Trish Stratus fan. Lita, Victoria for like the woman. I always popped for like Kane when he came out, but I always got a little scared too. I was a little girl, so I was scared of Kane. I was little. Undertaker, Kurt Angle was great to see. So yeah.
Now you're scaring everybody. You come out there and all, no, don't mess with her, don't mess with her. What has it been like the transition from your sport to pro wrestling, and what things have you found have been the challenge to do?
Well, it wasn't too hard to transition too much, but I did have to get used to particularly how we're supposed to be kicking, punching, like the strikes. It's a whole other deal though, because like sparring and like fighting, it's just like you're in there and you're in a cage. It's like totally different. You're in a ring for like wrestling, and who you're working with, like there's like a lot of good workers out there, like good wrestlers, good athletes who have different backgrounds. So you're working with different people that don't particularly train the same way you train. And over in like martial arts, like everyone like trains the same way you do. So, but like the transition for it was not too bad. The only thing I will say is that like it just wasn't too hard for me either to figure out what I wanted to do as a character. It's kind of hard when you don't have a particular background to figure out what you want to do in pro wrestling, so I was thankful enough to have that background for martial arts and to go into pro wrestling. So.
Because your other character you have, tell us about the other character.
Well, I have the black belt gimmick, so yeah, it's my actual black belt that I do wear that I actually received when I got my black belt in training. So I have that gimmick as well, so that's what I do, and then the ninja thing. But I basically do the same type of techniques in the ring that I've learned in the ring too.
Where did you get your training?
For taekwondo, I got it, well, taekwondo, yeah, I got it at Kim's Karate. And then I did muay thai and kickboxing at Urban Boxing in DC, and then wrestling, I do it at Pro Wrestling 2.0.
That's in Winter Park, which is near Orlando.
Yeah, it's in Orlando.
And who are some of the people that have trained you in pro wrestling?
Eric Lockhart, he's one of the trainers. Santana Garrett, she's the first trainer that I started with. Alex Porto, who runs it, he trains us as well. And 450.
two of the names, well, three of the names actually. I mean, Alex Porto worked with WWF. Santana Garrett has been around the world.
Yep.
Wow, stardom, just doing everything.
And Gentleman Jack is there now too.
Jack Gallagher from WWE NXT,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Or not NXT, but just WWE,
Yep,
right?
205 Live, yep.
205 Live,
Yep.
so he's there as well. So with that base of people you're learning for, and even Mecha Wolf, I mean, he's wrestled all over the place
Yeah.
as well. What things have you learned? What have you taken from all of them in your persona and in your training?
A lot. Like every day, like at training is like a whole new career. I learned like 70 different things in one class there. So ever since I started, like it was like a very quick learning process. Like my first day, like I went actually into an advanced class, which I didn't know was advanced. So it was a little overwhelming. I was like, oh, okay, this is how it is usually. And then, yeah, then when I kept going, I went to Santana's class, which was like more for beginners. Like, okay, this is good. Like, but yeah.
What goals do you have right now, and how long have you been training in pro wrestling?
Oh, I've been training for a little over a year now, but
wow, you're still
yeah.
very new at this,
yes,
then, right?
Still very new, and my goals like to basically travel around the world. I'm looking at Japan right now. Like that's the biggest one I want to go to, like Stardom or anything, just because like they have my particular style, and so like I usually just watch like Japanese wrestling most of the time, and of course if I ever get to NXT that would be great too. But yeah, just traveling around, doing what I love.
Rise, women's wrestling, teaching the women the future of athletes, women athletes. And you were part of a show in Orlando, and Mick Foley was there, gave a seminar. Tell us what happened with Mick Foley after your match and what opportunity you were able to get from this.
Well, after our match, we went to the back, and then Kevin Harvey was like, no, go back out there. I was like, okay. So we go back out there, and then Mick Foley comes behind us, and he just started talking about a little bit like why he was there, and he had the seminar beforehand. And then he said that he has been looking at all the talent all night, and he had to choose one to go to the Rise pay-per-view, which is legendary. And
that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I cut you off there, but you could tell us that's a huge deal because this is Rise's big pay-per-view event, which is happening on March 29th.
Yes.
And where is it going to be at? Is it in Illinois?
Yeah, Berwyn Eagles Club.
And what did Mick Foley end up, of all the talent that was there, and there was a lot of good talent there, what did Mick Foley do?
He ended up choosing me. But yeah, I was so surprised by that. I actually started crying in the ring. So, I was a little bit of a crybaby.
But it was okay for that moment, right?
It looked so surreal. It was like a dream, like Mick Foley telling me, like, hey, you're going to Chicago. So yeah, it was awesome.
That just, it makes for one of those moments too, for you and all, so. And
then the fans chanting, they're like, you deserve it, also like hit me. And I was like, wow, like people actually like support, like this is like first time I actually like see the support, so yeah.
And what is your family? You said your dad loved taking you and watching this. So what do they think too now about what you're doing?
Well, when I decided I wanted to do it, I did tell my dad first. He was a little upset only because I was leaving school, and I was in school for fashion, so, and I didn't want to finish it. I wasn't feeling it anymore, and I told him that I want to move to Orlando for wrestling because, you know, wrestling's really big in Orlando, like everything's there. So at first he was a little upset, but then he knew that I wanted to do it, so he warmed up to it. And he's always been a wrestling fan, so he kind of was like, you know, it'd be really cool actually if you did it. So he was fine. My mom knew I wanted to do it, my sister too, so they support it.
Well, you mentioned fashion. Then, will you make your own ring gear? Will you make your own attire or do anything like that? Or?
Well, yeah, like currently the one that I'm wearing right now for like the black belt one, my grandma actually sewed the top the jacket that I wear when I come out, and then I made the shorts. But I'm actually working with somebody on making actual ring gear for that one. This one right here is just like I threw stuff together and put a mask on, put some tape on my arms. So who knows? Like I'm actually gonna like look more into actually getting customized gear.
Well, that's just cool because if you're into fashion, that may be something later on down the road. You could all wrestle and also make ring gear for yourself and everybody else.
Yep.
Social media for your fans?
Usually, most of them actually is Janai Kai. So on Instagram, it's Janai_Kai. And then same thing for Twitter, Janai_Kai. So Twitter, Facebook page, I have Janai Kai.
Thank you so much.